that earlier, so at least we don't have to worry about my part on the recording. We will record this for if you want, for posterity's sake, we can access this later on. Don't tell me y'all haven't been able to hear me this whole time.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Woo. I guess I just need to speak up a little bit more. And then last point of order, a few other events coming up here at Historic Columbia. Well, the main thing coming up here at Historic Columbia, our historic house museums and gardens are back open for tours. It's a limited capacity and limited schedule. You can find all that information on our website. We're very excited to have those back open and be able to welcome our members and guests back inside of the historic homes and the stories they tell. June 4th, we have Movies in the Gardens. We're showing Scream. June 4th, that's at Hampton Preston at 7 p.m. You can go online and register for that. We're bringing back the Behind the Scenes Tour series. That will be June 9th at 6 p.m. You can find more information about that online. And if any of you have any kiddos, our summer camps are back this summer as well. So you can register for that online. And that is enough from me. I'm going to turn it over to Hardy Childers to introduce you to the Shandon neighborhood.
So what was this area before it was a neighborhood called Shandon? It was farmland. There was a horse racetrack that later became Epworth Orphanage, and 5 Points was a swampy wetland that had yet to be drained. In 1889, the Columbia Land and Investment Company was chartered, and they made a big bet. Their bet was that the Congaree Bridge would no longer have a toll, and people were able to freely cross over. So they purchased substantial amounts of land on the Columbia side and on the West Columbia side, which was then known as New Brooklyn. Well, the bridge toll stayed, so they quickly pivoted and bought land in this area, and soon to be known as Shandon, Columbia's first planned suburb. The president of the Columbia Land Investment Company was Robert Shand. He said it was named after his father, Reverend Peter Shand, and also the town of Shandon in Scotland, but I think it was probably just named it after himself. In 1893, the streets had been laid out in a pattern to match the rest of Columbia, but there was no interest in this area, and it took 12 months before the first property sale happened. But like most other neighborhoods in Columbia, when the trolley car line arrived, people quickly bought up properties and it snowballed. The transformation from farmland to urban neighborhood may have been finally complete in 1914 when Shandon was incorporated into the city of Columbia. Some people at the time were complaining about the loss of a rural lifestyle in the area, with one citizen complaining, there is scarcely room to tether a cow anymore. 25 years later, the house before you was built in 1939 at 130 South Hardin Street. I'll now hand it over to Caroline Jackson, co-chair of the Palladium Board Education Committee, to tell you more about the history of this home and the people who lived in it.
Thanks, Hardy. So in 1939, Nicholas Papadilla, a Greek immigrant who arrived in the US at the age of 16, obtained a permit from the city to build this house right here for him and his new bride, Marina. It is this house that the Papadilla family call home for the next several decades. Nicholas was a successful restaurateur who started in 1929 with a hot dog stand at the market when it was on Assembly Street. In the early 1930s, he grew that business into the popular Market Restaurant, which was located on the corner of Gervais and Assembly. The restaurant was owned and operated by Nicholas, his wife Marina, and her 3 brothers until the family decided to close its doors in 1985. The Papadillas were once a part of a growing Greek community here in downtown Columbia and were involved in the Greek Orthodox Church. Nicholas served as the president of the Greek Community Association as well. The Papadillas had 3 children, Christine, Nikki, and Jim, who served as the City of Columbia councilman. In 2017, the house was purchased by the Walker family and was renovated, restoring many great aspects of the home. Let's go check out what they've done.
All of those 3 people and others for documents and other things. The prosecutors now don't have to rely on, Rudy Giuliani to tell them what they're looking for on live TV. they've got the powers themselves to the grand jury in this material.
Good evening, everyone. I'm John Scheer, Director of Cultural Resources. We have seen each other for quite a while. It's been quite a while, but I'm glad to be back. And we're so very fortunate to be in the Papadea Walker House will unfold tonight as we get a chance. Jay Knight, Caroline has teed up a wonderful opportunity for us to go throughout each room, talk a little bit about not just the families and what they experienced here, but also some of the art elements that bridge both eras to the house to bring it up to. Again, I'll reiterate, if there are questions or if there's something that you'd like to see, just put it in that chat and we'll make sure that we can accommodate you as best as possible. I was a little envious, to be honest. Caroline had the chance to come through this beautiful door, and it's like Hardy's going to try to call are I'm fighting for that door, Hardy. I love the fact that some of the original architectural elements are so beautifully preserved. We're starting right here at the front door. This is a gorgeous original door with the strap hinges and the heavy cast knocker, and of course the strap handle. Beautiful detailing that I think is inviting for all who come through those doors. Where do you want to start? I've been just kind of awash ever since I had the opportunity to see
I'm
it
already
several
in
weeks
this
ago.
room, so I think we can get
Yeah,
started
let's
here.
go ahead.
So this is the living room.
Yes.
And this is the.
I love the step down effect.
Yeah.
And it just gives it another level of kind of dynamism.
And this is my favorite part. It is this little sitting up right here.
The bay window with those original casement windows, the metal framework with the handles that pivot the sashes, or something that I was always fond of. I remember driving past this house probably years ago when the Papadea family still owned it, and just kind of marveled at just its presence, how it kind of sits up from South Hardin Street. And then if you look at the building from the essentially foundation all the way up to its second story, you have this architectural hierarchy surrounded with this incredibly heavy, visually heavy looking balustrade that you're met with. In this room, we also have some very fine, heavy architectural elements, beginning from, I would say, the presence of the fireplace with the wood trim, the dental molding on it, and of course, work your way all the way up to the cornice around the ceiling. I might be tempted to hang one or two pictures from that picture molding
Yeah.
integrated into the
Yes,
cornice.
the picture molding was wonderful. Yes. We made sure the molding stayed in its original form.
All of the original oak floors are still intact, I believe.
Yes, yes.
What did you have to do to them? Were there finishing, or what work needed to be done in this room?
The downstairs floors were already finished when we bought the house. There had been a little bit of a leak in the dining room, so some of the walls had to come out and they had to feather in some more floors. The guys did a great job with that. And the downstairs den area, we had the opportunity to go through asbestos abatement. So those floors are new, but they're all feathered in and look great.
About how long did the restoration or rehabilitation process take for you?
14 months.
14 months. Now, were you in residence at any time, or were you elsewhere?
We were elsewhere. We got the opportunity for the first time in our marriage to live in an apartment for a little while.
Was that down in Columbia? Was that here in Columbia?
Yes, here in Columbia. Our house sold, and we were in the apartment about 6 months, which was an experience, but it was okay.
Well, what drew you to this property?
Oh, every single architectural detail in the house. I've always loved old homes, brown wood.
Which we'll get to a little bit later.
Yes, brown wood, Tudor. I've always liked Tudor. And just, I walked through the house and I was just in goosebumps the whole time, the first time I saw it. And just, my husband said, let's buy it. So we did. It all worked out.
Well, I think for those who had the opportunity to tune in early enough and see the facade of the house, the front of the house, you'll see some of those common Tudor elements, most notably the kind of the faux half timbering and the stucco near the roof line. Of course, the asymmetrical facade is one. It's kind of a dead giveaway. And those are elements that are seen, of course, in this house, but other landmark properties throughout, not just Shandon, but other older kind of first generation suburbs. So you'll see those in Melrose Heights and, of course, Old Shandon, as well as some of the contiguous neighborhoods, Wales Garden and Hollywood Rose Hill.
You want to go into the dining room or look in the foyer first?
Why don't we look in the foyer real quick? One of the things that occurred to me, I hadn't really thought about it before, was that you have the French doors that lead into what ostensibly would be kind of the private area of the home. And you could have easily closed those off and essentially kind of controlled the flow of any type of party or any type of event. So I imagine that probably happened when your folks were here. Tell us a little bit about your memories of.
So talking about the floors, my grandmother, for some reason, we're not sure why, but covered the entire downstairs and the steps in a wool carpet. That was very nice, but I never realized that we had these hardwood floors underneath. But I just remember this room was kind of off limits. This was like the fancy room. But we had plenty of dinners and holidays around the dining room. But it was kind of like you said, there's a definite separation between the fancier area and then more of like the laid back children's area.
If you want to look at this fixture, it was original to the house. So we had it rewired and cleaned up and love it. I just love it. There's several, the chandelier in the dining room is original to the house.
That's one of the things that we'll see with the house having been built in the pre-World War II era. So we really coming kind of out of the Depression, you're going to have this interesting combination of different types of aesthetics, some of which are fairly ornate and others more austere. So just within this little entry vestibule here, looking at the fact that you have the door surround trimmed out with that visual kind of going back to the rear of the house, but to the left and to the right, whether you're going into the dining room or into the living room here, this is just flush. And this is not uncommon to have these kind of arched entryways into those spaces, devoid of any kind of wood trim or anything like that. It's a great presence. It feels welcoming, but also kind of monumental with the trim, and of course with the molding that we have in the ceiling. What do you think, Darryl? Yeah. Can you sell it to me?
Yeah.
You get invited to party. How about that? Well, let's make our way into the dining room. Oh, that's great. I just realized that.
I knew you were putting out. Yeah.
So you don't have to always paint your ceilings off white. You can paint them other colors and get another a level of detail to it.
And if you use this color blue, it's different in every room.
That's a good point.
It's the same color, but it looks different in
It's
every
so
room.
subtle, but
and
it
in every
flows so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you pointed that out. It is very subtle, but now when you look at it, you can't say it. It's brilliant. And this is actually not white. It's almost a light cream color for the wall. Is that right?
It's all cream in my coffee, yes.
Well, there you go.
Yes,
There
it
you go.
is. Yes.
So interesting here, you have your 6/6 windows, talking about sashes here, paired windows. And depending on what house it is, whether it is a Tudor style, large 2-story home, or maybe a smaller cottage, you'll often see different types of kind of pairings for your windows. So in this case, you have the type of window treatment, type of sashes that you can find, whether they be in a colonial revival house, Tudor revivals such as this or otherwise. Love the dining room.
Beautiful. Well, we're carrying on the tradition of young people being in the dining room, so
Oh, yeah.
yes, oh, yes.
This is a gracious space for a lot of mouths to feed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
We definitely had to squeeze in.
So was there a kids table? And if so, where might that have been?
No.
No. All
We
right.
Squeezed in.
Yeah.
So it was my uncle, my aunt, my cousin, eventually his wife, my brother, myself, my dad, my grandmother, who always sat at the head of the table.
Absolutely.
And it was a tight fit. But we were all there.
It sounds joyous.
It was, and there was copious amount, there was no saying no to anything.
You're making me hungry.
Right. Yes.
But it was delicious.
Well, one of the things that caught me when I had a chance to visit with Jane and Newton and Caroline, gosh, a month ago now, maybe.
Yeah.
What I was really drawn to the butler's pantry
Oh.
/ breakfast nook.
Yeah.
This is actually one of my favorite
That-
spaces. So it's just kind of an eye feast. I'm gonna just absorb that while we come in here and take a look around. You know, the beauty of this is you don't have to paint everything. It's okay to have natural wood.
Exactly.
You know, we were talking about that a little earlier and kind of respecting the character defining elements of the
Yes.
house. I think that probably any of the family members would be able to come through
Yes.
and have a visual reminder as to what things were like.
Even just the same vinyl grain.
Oh, we love this.
And
Love
we all
this.
squeezed in here too. And it was unfortunate if you were at the end. Unless you were small enough, you have to go underneath or ask like 5 people to get out. But this is where we had all of our more casual, like birthday
Yeah.
parties. And my grandmother was a great cook and pastry maker, so she hand baked everything. So
I suspect that there would have been perhaps an aluminum trimmed and maybe formica topped table
Yes.
originally.
yes.
Okay, so that's the feeling I had on
And
that.
then it was funny. There's also an add-on that came out to about here because there were so many of us.
So how did that add-on, did it swing down or was
No,
it something that just
It was
integrated
just
into?
kind of there.
Okay.
It was just there.
Did anybody ever get a chance to drag a chair into the room and sit at the head of the table here?
Yeah. My grandmother.
I suspect.
That was her lot. Because she always likes to be very close to the kitchen so that she could maintain everything, everybody's plate.
Do you recall whether or not there was ever a swinging door? Or was it always open into the kitchen?
There's a swinging door
Ah,
and it went
okay.
into the kitchen.
Gotcha.
There were 3 doors.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
And swinging
everything,
doors.
kind of like you said, butler's pantry, everything could be closed off
Right.
and used to, I don't know.
I can only imagine conversations that could have happened around this table.
Yes.
It's such a warm space with the natural wood.
Yeah, what I love is that you kept the wood. I
Yes, me too.
adore that.
Me too.
And if you notice, we've got four pictures.
Yeah, let's
That's
look at
what it used to look like.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
There's just an additional piece. I don't know who made it. It might have been my dad. He's very handy. But it just kind of extended the table out just a little bit so that we didn't have to. We could have a little bit of elbow room,
Of
just
course.
a little bit.
So this house was built in 39.
Yes.
And at that point, of course, your grandfather, the other family members were proprietors of the Market Restaurant.
Mhm.
I don't know when the Market Restaurant was built, actually. I know that it grew from the hot dog stand, which
I
Caroline was
don't
talking
know
about earlier.
exactly either.
I found the year 1934. He had already owned it, so
Okay.
it was sometime between 29 and 34.
And I think they got married in 34.
They did get married in 34.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he might have started it, and then my grandmother kind of integrated herself into it.
So he's 34 years old, and I'm sure he and your grandmother talked about the aesthetic that the restaurant had. And incidentally, again, by way of review, the restaurant was located essentially to the northwest of today's State House. So it's kind of the catbird seat for, you know, people who would have been on Main Street or Assembly or Gervais Street or at the State House. location, location, location.
And getting a visual for where that is now, that is where the big chicken is that correct?
It's in the
Pretty
middle.
close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the parking lot is located. So
Yeah.
the market restaurant was located just a little north of Gervais Street. In between Gervais Street and Pitt, there was a Gulf station. All right. And across the street, there was another Gulf station, interestingly enough. But beside that Gulf station, there was oh goodness, it just escaped me. A competitor. I don't remember right now.
Yes.
Something to that effect. But that building was a Tudor Revival style gas station. Interesting.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of curious.
And when the market did close, my grandmother did take one of the tables, and that was the kitchen table that we used to sit at when it was just my brother, myself, and my grandmother.
But something else made its way back to the family as well from the market restaurant. I think it might be in your possession.
It might be, it's one of the original lobsters from the market restaurant. It's a framed picture painted on canvas. And we also have matchbooks, all sorts of stuff. We don't get rid of anything.
For folks who are interested in historic postcards, the market restaurant is a postcard that you can find pretty readily on eBay. You might want to pick you up one or two. That'd be good. And you can, of course, get them from local postcard stores as well. There's one, SCView Antique Images, here in Columbia. But for me, I found one a couple of weeks ago as I was going through some estate materials and discovered that apparently my parents in November of 1956, when they got married in Raleigh and then came down to Columbia for their honeymoon, they must have had a meal at the market restaurant because it was among a lot of the ephemera that I found in some of the things that they collected for that special event. So I know the market restaurant is near and dear to a lot of people, and I often find it discussed in people's memories of Columbia. So
Yeah.
just missed it. I didn't realize it was open until 85 until this evening.
Really?
I could have actually had a meal there. I wish I had. Sounds good. But I know that there's another place to get wonderful meals, and that would be your kitchen here. And we're going to move into that space. See, I teed that up really nicely for you. The expectations there. Let's talk about your kitchen and take a look and see what you've done there. How
All
about that?
right. Well, so as you come this way. This used to be a wall. The kitchen ended right where I'm standing, and this was a wall. So, and I understand that Kate's grandmother talked about maybe knocking the wall out. So we did knock the wall out, and again, more asbestos. So that was fun.
Sorry about that again.
We kept the original countertops, the stainless steel countertops, and we kept the original cabinets. They're very thick, very, very well made, wonderful cabinets. This part's new right here, and the island is new.
And fun fact about the countertops, they're made of stainless steel, and the same gentleman who created and installed them actually made the shark jaw that hangs at the South Carolina State Museum. And his name is Stavros Christomides.
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 Stavros.
I wish it was Stavros. Sounds much better. So, a little piece of Columbia here in the
Yeah, this right here, this sells me on the space right off the bat.
And it was great because my grandmother was an avid baker, like I said. So it was perfect to bake bread on, make pastries on, and all the other Greek treats that she was a part of the Float to Coast, which is the ladies group in the church, and she would bake goods here and down at the church to sell at the bake sale. So
Should I open this?
Sure. And we have some photographs of family, and tell us a little bit about what you guys are here.
So these are cookies that we actually found a recipe from Ms. Papadilla in the state newspaper from 1966. And we also found a recipe from her St. Catherine's bake sale when she helped found. It was all sent to you in email. But thankfully, Megan Plott, the Historic Columbia Director of Development, made these for us.
Yeah,
If
man.
anybody's gonna try these at home from the recipe from the Greek Festival cookbook, she recommends baking them at 350 for 12 minutes and keep checking them because this says 20 minutes and her oven's hot. So I don't know if yours is too, but we're all gonna take a little bite of these real quick, and they're really good. I got the test batch a couple weeks ago, and tastes like Christmas. It's like Greek Christmas.
That's exciting.
And you said that you
We used to make them, and we used to make Rodeo, which is another Greek treat, and the Greek wedding cookies too, which were rolled in powdered sugar, and they were always a favorite. But she was always giving them to people like neighbors, other family members. So you never left the house empty-handed. I'll just put it that way.
so how do you pronounce it? Mellow macaroni?
Sure, that sounds really good. You're really close.
Yeah.
I'm game for one.
Yes, I would love to have one too.
That'll give us some energy as we move
Mhm.
throughout the rest of the house. And Carolyn, you had a picture of where I'm standing. Essentially, I'm going to get out
I
of the way.
do, yeah.
But,
So if you notice right here, I'll let you zoom in on it. This is the room I'm in now, joined with the kitchen. So there used to be a wall there.
Megan, you got done yourself on these. These are amazing.
Mhm.
These are very good.
And my favorite part of this was, what was this room used for?
So this was our den. This room, or kind of part of this room, and then also on the other side,
Mhm.
used to be a screened-in porch. But then they decided to close it up to extend the den and to create a laundry room on this side. But like the TV was over there, and then she had the biggest green couch you've ever seen in your life, and it went the entire length of the wall there. Yes, and me and my brother and my cousin would just be like sliding on it and like taking the pillow or cushions out of it and like just having too much fun.
I remember this.
Yeah.
My and I was gonna say earlier, my favorite part of this room is this rope molding right here. And so you know the story of the rope molding. I think Marina, your grandmother, correct?
Yes.
She saw it in the USC dormitory.
Yeah. The girls'
Um,
dormitory.
And M.B. Khan, who was the contractor for the house, was also doing the dormitory, and she
Mhm.
liked it and she wanted it in her house.
And that's
Well-
where she saw the wood paneling for the first time too.
Rope molding was part of what sold the house. And the contractor, in cutting through the wall, they had to take down a lot of the molding, and they had to take down the paneling, but they kept it in order. And he threatened the guys if any of the molding broke, it was gonna be bad. So they were very, very careful with it and got it back up. Did a great job.
When we were in the living room, we have a really nice fine piece of furniture that has some of that similar rope molding
Yes,
that
yes.
emphasizes
Uh-huh.
verticality of it. It's
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
kind of a neat little aesthetic tie-in.
And the interesting thing about putting the floor down in here, this is where there was, I think, mastic glue.
Mhm.
And so this is new flooring, but under the slate is concrete, and I couldn't put the wood down. So I said, well, let's just put slate, and it sort of
Beautiful.
divides the two rooms really well.
So do you remember if there was kind of a checkerboard tile flooring? I mean, but tile like vinyl.
Not in here. It was carpet.
There's carpet here.
Oh. I forgot to mention, we have a photo right here.
Oh,
I put it out online. There you go.
It was more of like a kid-friendly carpet
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to like the fancy wool carpet that was in like the grown-up section of the house.
and that was, where did I see the fancy wool carpet? It was here. I saw a picture of it somewhere.
Oh, are you thinking of this?
Oh, yeah, that's it, right?
That was the original dining room.
Oh, that's the original dining room?
I'm sorry.
The living room, okay.
Sorry, excuse me.
Gotcha.
But it was the same carpeting, went up or went all through the downstairs, except for in here.
John, we got a quick question.
Yeah. Tell
Um,
us a little bit more about.
I guess another,
There's one question real quick.
Oh,
Quick question, y'all. They're wondering who was the contractors for the renovation project?
oh, Mike Menemeyer with ELR Construction. And he's in the Lexington area. He's a great guy to work with. He did call me the queen of a change order because I changed the contract so many times and added so many things to it. But he was great.
Awesome, thank you.
I think that's one of the things about any type of rehabilitation or new construction for that matter is you come across opportunities and you have to have a few course corrections every now and then to make sure you get the house that you really want. Whether it's new construction or rehabilitation, it's a labor of love for all involved. So it's okay to make decisions kind of in midstream sometimes and make sure that you get exactly what you're hoping for.
And I did.
And you did. And there you go. Otherwise, you would have been worrying about it from this point forward. Now you don't have to.
Or make it better.
There you go.
So something unique about the kitchen is there's no refrigerator. And it's in
Yeah.
here, which I absolutely love. Oh, and this is the laundry room.
Sorry about that. Just turning around.
So I have my food refrigerator and my drink refrigerator.
That's funny because my grandmother had her food refrigerator and then her huge freezer
Yes.
that was always stocked full with treats to give to everybody.
Awesome.
I'll put it.
Feel free.
I think it's time for upstairs. This is also one of my favorite parts of the house is this foyer area. Almost got two foyers. We've got a stairway area and the foyer. So back here, it looks like we've got one bedroom, bathroom. Lots of light in here.
Now, am I mistaken in saying that that light fixture came out of what would have been the original den that we just walked out of?
That's
I thought I
exactly
saw
right.
that in that photograph.
Right,
That's great.
it was.
Yeah.
That's where it came from, and it is absolutely one of the most fabulous light fixtures I've ever seen.
You were like the perfect person to buy this house. You appreciate everything.
Well, I wanted to keep the integrity of the house and its bones, but put in a few little quirks, little
Well, you did a
up-to-date
perfect job.
quirks like showers and commodes.
Chandler, while we're making our way upstairs, if you'll just pause for a moment and let everybody take a look at this really wonderful kind of oversized basket weave tile. While it's modern, this is kind of a hint to what you would have seen during the 1920s and 1930s with basket weave tile throughout houses of this era.
There's all, if you want to just peek around the corner, there was an original arch over the shower and we kept that. So that's there also.
That's awesome.
This is what it looks like.
Having rehab houses and worked on Fred's houses, I'm so envious of all of the door hardware, the escutcheons, the door holes, the lock assemblies, everything's devoid of paint. And having to clean decades of paint off of those in other houses, I fully appreciate just how wonderful clean hardware it is.
That could be because I removed all of them. And applied brass.
You did a wonderful job.
I was gonna say, if you didn't take credit for that, I was gonna mention it. Because you definitely did a great job.
And so this is what you would call a landing area, study area.
This is and I almost call it like a study has a number of kind of surprises. One we'll hold off till last, but one of the things that I like, and imagine there are at least one or two of y'all who are watching that might have a house that may have been built before air conditioning. And before air conditioning, how did we cool off where we live? Well, we have these things called sashes, double hung sashes. Oftentimes you could drop the top sash or open the bottom sash a little bit. And many houses were outfitted with attic fans. And so this space right here where we have the grid, you have an attic fan that would have had so much power that literally all of the pictures that you see on the wall would have danced downstairs with all of the air being brought up from the inside of the house and exhausted through the attic space on those hot and humid spring and summer nights that we're apparently making our way into now. So thankfully, you don't necessarily have to use that now.
We don't, but it works.
But it works. And so maybe not tonight, maybe just the experience, you can enjoy an evening with the attic fan. I had one in the house I grew up in. I remember after it turned off, you could hear the ticking, little clicking. You might have remembered that. I don't know.
The house that I grew up in had one too, and me and my brother always thought we were doing something wrong when we accidentally flipped the switch because like it would just start making like a word and turn it off really quickly. It's like don't touch it.
Well, so you have, of course, the attic fan. You have attic access here with a drop down. And let's just kind of do a quick pan through, if you would, Chandler, of the bedrooms on this level, and then we're going to end up, I think, surprising everyone at the very end.
Oh, want me to go ahead?
Lead the way.
This is where I spend a lot of my time because my craft stuff is in here. So I took over this room, but it is a guest bedroom also. Oh, and the built-ins, all of the built-ins are original.
Yep. This was actually my uncle and father's room. So they each had their own desk, their little twin bed.
They had twin beds, you said?
Like each, had their own bed.
Yeah.
So they one person had this side, one person had that side.
That's awesome.
And then didn't you say you all came one time and there was just this random wall over there?
Out of the blue, like my grandmother always wanted to help people. And if she met you and liked you, and you were, a carpenter, let's say, she'd put you to work. So one day we came in and there was just a wall built like right here with a door right here. And we were all just like, what? But, she kind of turned it into a little office area and kind of like, just craft, like kids craft room, like here's some scissors and like stuff.
She got tired of your room, she might her own.
Yeah.
Shut you
She had to
away.
close the
Shut you
door.
away.
Go upstairs.
Put a dead bolt on it.
Right, from the outside.
So the upstairs bathrooms that you're about to see were both blue. And had the sinks with the stainless steel posts and the shower and the commodes all matched the blue tile. So there's that one. And then this one.
And we do have a before photo here. A little cringe in this one. Not here. Too many people in here.
Small. So apparently, even though the two boys lived in the other room, they got the small bathroom, and Kate's aunt Christine got a smaller bedroom but a bigger bathrooms.
This is bigger than a lot of bathrooms I've seen.
Oh, I'll show you this if you want to pan over here to the tub. It has a place to sit right there, and a place for my grandchildren's toys. We probably forgot to mention all the closets are cedar closets. I'm not gonna open them because they're kind of stuck full right now, but they're all cedar. Just nice. And these floors are original. All we did was refinish them.
The amount of natural light coming out of these windows is just so So wonderful.
Oh, it is.
Command view of Hardin Street down there too.
Mhm.
There are really a lot of closets in the house. That was another thing. Yeah, I have basically 2 linen closets here.
And then this bathroom was renovated. That used to be, was it purple cranberry?
It was kind of like a cranberry color.
Pink and maroon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
like a maroon.
Yes.
It was a
The,
interesting color.
the
Sure.
sink, the commode and the shower stall were all a sort of a maroon magenta. And everything else was pink tile.
And then this is the master bedroom. We really didn't change the footprint of the upstairs at all because it was just fine the way it was. We did add some, like the sconces on either side of the bed, we added those. Again, more built-ins.
Yes, my grandmother did like a built-in. Even the closets had built-in shelves. Or
Right,
drawers.
the built-ins here continue into the closet, and then both of these closets have double racks. So the winter clothes are in the back right now, and the spring, summer are in the front. But
Speaking of
Which is so
closets and hidden places, we got a surprise.
this was the most fun of all.
Yeah.
So these are bookshelves, except for our hidden room.
When we first saw this, we thought this was so cool.
And this was another
go in.
addition that my grandmother added on this section. Like she just met someone and was like, I
Wow.
need more storage because I don't have enough closets.
And so this was a closet and this extended out that way. Is that-
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was just her thing. She would just meet people and
Add on.
yep.
Well, this has made 4 little people very, very happy.
I
Let me
was
tell
lucky.
you.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I was like, this is the perfect little nook for a little kid.
We have one child that likes, one grandchild who likes to sleep on a pallet in there at night with the little Christmas lights on. So hence the Christmas lights stay up all year round.
Gosh. Y'all go on without me.
That's right. You did there, Jim. Carol, what do you say? Do you think we ought to make our way out to the backyard perhaps? and
Yes. Backyard is
have
fun.
an
Let's go
opportunity
check
to-
it out.
Yeah, let's go do that. 'Cause the yard surrounding the house is really wonderful as well.
As you come through, be careful not to step on these sweet
Oh,
here. Startled.
the other members of the family.
Yeah.
And this is their activity level all day long, right there. That's
Oh,
it.
and the funny story, when you were renovating the house, they would stand right here and say, where's the door to get out?
Right.
Not realizing that this was the door.
Contractors would miss the knob and they'd say, we knew we walked in. How do we get out?
Oh, I love it.
Oh.
Oh, let's see.
This is my husband, Newton, and this is our friend Jake Seeley.
All right.
So this was originally all grassed in. And then once the kids got older, I think she just got tired of the upkeep. So she put in the pavers. And then on this side, which I know we're not.
That's okay. It's just kind of junky.
We had not only a clothesline because my grandmother was old school, but we also had, I don't know what you call it, but grape leaves to grow grapes for like grape leaves for like tomatoes and stuff like that.
Chandler, you're not supposed to show me eating another cookie.
Oh, sorry about that.
So good.
Uh-oh.
If you could save the day.
Oh, we might be able to.
And I'll go there.
And so this
go
is a
quietly.
little area, it was just a little landscape area, is that right?
Just a little landscaped area, it was rectangular, and I had always wanted a fish pond with fish actually in it, so.
Yeah, they are.
I was gonna,
There they
I thought I was gonna have to look for them, but they're
Yeah.
huge.
And they have the best name.
Oh, so the orange one is Gus, after Gus Van Sant, the artist. There's a Van Gogh down there. He's kind of blue and orange striped. There's a Caravaggio and a Vermeer, and I'll stop because you might be bored at this point.
No.
They think we're gonna eat them.
Dylan, what do you think? Should we open it up for any questions that folks might have?
Might take it further away from our water for
Good
now.
idea. Thank you, Pamela, for that.
The fountain actually has a remote control. I could slow it down,
Oh.
but
It's such a nice sound.
Charles, are there any questions?
He just asked in chat as well.
Recording in progress.
Any questions, anybody?
See, I have the benefit of seeing who all's there, so I can ask questions of those who are watching. Start prompting them.
Megan has a question for our owners. What's your favorite part about living in this house?
What was that question again?
What's your favorite part about living in this house?
Yep, sorry.
oh my goodness. Wow. I don't even. I
Oh, it's a tough
absolutely
question.
love all of it. I mean, and I waited a long, long time to be in a house that I just absolutely loved, like I love this one. So, sometimes I guess coming out at night and just sitting on this patio at the pond, watching fish, just, not having to do anything for anybody except watch the fish. So,
That's nice.
but we spend most of the time in the den kitchen area. But I don't know. I just love everything about, and we love being in Shandon too. We love this area. So we've met a lot of very interesting neighbors, and then there are a lot of people that we knew who lived here. So all of the above.
Well, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. And our next one will maybe be in Olympia. That's what we're shooting for. We have never done a renovation rodeo in Olympia. So that would be new and exciting. I'd like to thank the homeowners for allowing us to come visit. And we've learned a lot, and it's been great. You got anything to add?
No, just thank you for attending, and we hope you had fun.
This might be a good question for John. We had somebody ask, are there similar styles of brick homes close by?
Are there similar styles of brick homes close by? There are other Tudor Revival style homes, both here in Shandon and then just west of here, of course, and Wales Garden, and then Hollywood Rose Hill. You can also find examples of Tudor Revival homes in Earlwood, in Elmwood, Melrose Heights, Heathwood. This was a popular style of residence during the really about 1905, 1910, all the way up through about 1940. In this case, built in 39, so still popular at that time.
Leaving you a little opening
for
for a couple
opening
more
your
if you
head.
want.
Charles, anything further?
A lot of nice compliments about the house, but not seeing any other questions.
Well, it sounds like you're going to leave us then to for us to enjoy a plate of cookies that Megan made for everyone.
think-
So I've already had
you know
two,
what?
so I don't have any more.
We got one more. I think this is a good question here. Joyce, what is your favorite holiday to celebrate at this house?
Well, does it have to be a favorite? All right, St. Patrick's Day is fun. Because I come from 5 Points and we can sit in the front yard and watch all the revelers go down the street. Of course, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter.
All of them.
What was
Probably.
yours?
Probably Thanksgiving, because it was just like about family. It wasn't about like cousins and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
well, I just remember we were always together, and I just loved it.
Yeah.
No, definitely, this is good old days.
Good point, yes.
But now you've definitely taken the mantle and are doing a great job.
Well, I don't wrap grape leaves around anything, but
Well-
maybe I'll learn, maybe I'll learn.
Stars.
I am gonna make those honey cookies.
They were delicious. She did a great job.
Yes, she did. I'm gonna cut myself off now.
Kudos.
Thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Charles, for making sure that everybody was well taken care of. Again, I'll reiterate, thank you for spending time with us this evening. Thank you for your membership. If you know that your membership perhaps is getting ready to lapse, be proactive. Go ahead and rejoin. And while you're doing it, grab a friend. We want to make sure that everyone is aware of what Historic Columbia does for the community. Offering engaging programs like this in people's houses and in places that normally would not get a chance to see unless we're very all of our volunteers. Hardy, Caroline, they do this because they love Historic Columbia and they love local history and they're interested in preserving that. You two, I suspect, just by virtue of you tuning in tonight, very much cut of the same cloth. So thank you again. We look forward to seeing you next time, and hopefully that'll be in person. Have a good night.
Absolutely. Thanks again, everybody. Well said, John. Everyone, thank you all for joining us. Have a good night. We'll have a recording of this available later. And we look forward to seeing you at our other events.